What are the two major advantages to radio advertising? Well, frankly, there's more than two, but there are two that, in my mind, that really stand out. And I think you're going to appreciate these. As a business owner and as an advertiser, you may want to consider these because they're both pretty powerful and very fiscally responsible. So let's dive in. By the end of this video, we're going to go over a couple things for you about the two major advantages of radio advertising. One's a little more fiscally responsible, and the other one has a creative angle to it that, quite frankly, no other medium can possibly hold a candle to. And when you put those two together, get a great ROI, be efficient in your spending, and be very effective in your script and in your copy and in your ad, it becomes an unstoppable combination. These are the two, my personal two, that I really like as advantages that a radio has over everything else. You ready? Let's go. First of all, think of radio as one of the mass media. It is one of those things that you're going to have this little tiny speaker casting a very big net over the general population. This is a mass media. It's like TV, it's radio, newspapers, all these big, huge ways of reaching a grand, big audience. With radio, there's some great targeting involved. You target with the different kind of formats. What is your main demographic of the people that are coming into your business, the people that you're working with, the people that are coming for your services or goods versus the radio format? And you're going to see a lot of matchup if you pick the right station. And that's a really great way to hone in on your particular audience. Now, the big advantage to this is it's very, very cost effective. When you start getting up into the big numbers, radio advertising is a fraction of what TV would possibly be. It's going to have much more reach than the internet. The internet's not going to reach everybody in that particular niche, in that particular geographic location. You're going to reach some, don't get me wrong, but when it comes to the big broad net, you're going to find them with radio advertising in the geographic area. And of course, the big one is if you wanted anywhere near the same like reach or impressions or frequency, like for newspaper or for magazines, forget it. It would be cost prohibitive. There's no way you can possibly reach. What would it take to reach about 98% of the population in any given week? Say 12-year-olds and up. 98% of the population. Radio does it again and again and again. Check out the Radio Advertising Bureau, RAB.com. They've got these stats every year. They keep it current. They do the survey again and again and again. I think maybe it's gone from like 98.5 and it's slipped to 97.5% of the general population, 12 and up, gets reached every week during the course of a week because of radio. Absolutely phenomenal numbers. That type of reach and frequency naturally translates to some really great ROI. The ROI, again, that's one of those things that that RAB surveys again and again and again, and that is about 6 to 1. It comes up every year, about 6 to 1, maybe a little bit more, but it's been phenomenal year after year after year. So for the amount of people that radio can reach in just the drop of a hat, all you need to do is push a button. Push a button for the amount of people that it's reaching. Radio has been very cost effective. It always has been, and it always will be. Absolutely phenomenal way to reach a mass audience and get your word out very quickly, very efficiently. I've been doing radio for probably close to 30 years, if not, maybe even more than 30 years if I actually sat and think about it, which I don't want to, but for about 30 years now. And this is one of the things that I finally decided to return to. So we're going to be covering a lot more of radio. If this is something that's going to be good for your business, and if it's B2C, you might want to seriously think about it. Be sure to subscribe to this channel because we're going to do more radio stuff. We also do podcasting, video, YouTube, you name it, any type of video, audio, advertising. That's what we cover here. The two seem to go hand in hand, and it's really great for small to medium-sized service businesses, which just really do really well with this type of stuff. So that's what we are going to cover here for you, and hopefully you can leverage it to the nth degree and be beyond successful. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, the biggest advantage that I absolutely love about radio, it's not just its storytelling, but it's one of the things that kind of goes along with the storytelling. For example, and I've used this in previous videos, so if you want to, you can fast forward through this part. If you were to make a TV commercial with 1,000 dancing camels, you would have to like do a computer version, or maybe film one camel, real camel, and duplicate it. Or, I mean, there's so much that they can do with computers now these days. It would be, what, tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get it filmed, to get it duplicated, to get it up and running, to make sure that it was dressed properly, blah, 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 all kinds of stuff. So, oh, and you want 1,000 of them, right? Okay, great. We're on it. But for radio, if you want to put 1,000 dancing camels in your commercial, I just did it. It's that simple. But it's even more powerful than that. Because I just said 1,000 dancing camels, and now you're picturing 1,000 dancing camels. Okay, fine, but what kind of dancing are they doing? Are they dressed like a genie and they're doing a belly dance? Are they in a grass skirt and they're doing like a Hawaiian luau type dance? Are they dressed in all black and they're doing like jazz hoofs, I guess is what it would be called? But you know, a jazz dancer, maybe they're wearing tutus and they're doing ballet. Whatever the case may be, I just said 1,000 dancing camels. The part that you filled in is called the theater of the mind. And it is one of the most amazing things that you can lead someone on a journey in a radio commercial and let them fill in the gaps or let them fill in the details. That immediately creates an automatic connection. One of the best compliments I ever got when it came to writing a radio commercial, writing and producing a radio commercial, it was for a jewelry store, and they were doing charms for charm bracelets, okay? And these little charms were baby shoes, tiny baby shoes. These were perfect gifts for mothers, for grandma to pass down to her daughter who is now having a child, you know, that kind of thing. I mean, it was just this wonderful, exquisite little charm that went on a charm bracelet. And the best compliment I ever got, the owner of the jewelry store told me that this lady came in the other day and she said, "Oh my gosh, whenever your ad comes on TV, I cry every time I see it." They weren't running TV ads. It's what she was picturing in her mind whenever she heard the radio ad. It became that strong and powerful an image to her that she was crying every time she saw it. That's the power of theater of the mind. And it is, if you can leverage that in your ads, it is such a fun place to write and a fun place to play. It's just amazing. One of the ones that one of my personal favorites. It was for a bridal shop, and you know, if Dad ever goes with Mom and daughter to go buy the wedding gown, you know, he's there for the credit card, right? He's just there to whip out the plastic at the end and, you know, whatever. Mom and daughter have the say in this completely and totally, and Dad's just in the back. All right, how much is it? All right, how much is it? All right, how much is it? But then, when she steps out of the changing booth and she's wearing the dress, Dad doesn't say a thing. He says, "You look beautiful, Pumpkin." And you can see Dad about ready to cry, and he's totally forgotten about his plastic. That is theater of the mind. You can picture the entire bridal shop and the daughter coming in and out and stepping on that thing. And then all of a sudden, Dad's almost in tears because his little girl looks absolutely beautiful. That is theater of the mind. And if you can leverage that in your ads, you've got a winner. You've got such a winner. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. It's a great place to play. Those are the two biggest advantages, in my opinion, both cost-effective and theater of the mind. There's no other place you can do that in any of advertising besides radio. And this theater of the mind carries over to, say, steaks. When you hear that tss, right when the steak hits the grill, or in the storytelling and what's going on, and any action or something like that that needs to be described. All of it is storytelling. All of it is theater of the mind, and it gets your listener involved. It draws them in. First of all, we're naturally drawn to stories for whatever reason it is. All the way back to caveman times, we're naturally drawn to stories. And radio can't help but do it any better. One of the best storytellers, he made a career out of it. Paul Harvey, the rest of the story. Even his noontime radio broadcast was scattered with stories, and it was just such a wonderful news broadcast to listen to because of some of his stories that he would put in there. And oh, by the way, those stories were probably his own personal ads, the ads that he liked to pepper the news with every single day. So it's a pretty phenomenal way to get your advertising across is by telling stories and using theater of the mind. So to set you up in the right direction, I have a free gift for you. It is called my radio advertising checklist. It's a lot more than just a radio advertising checklist. It's like an ebook, it's like a primer, a radio advertising primer. I mean, I cover so much in it. It's several pages long, but boy, oh boy, it walks you through the imagination, idea, brainstorming phase, and then once you take that, it'll walk you through on how to take all those answers and turn them into a radio commercial. I'm kind of proud of it, and I think it's going to help you quite a bit. Down below in the description, there's a link. Click on that and get your copy for free right now. I'm Nic Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.